Like, stop paying people with exposure, bro. Go buy some groceries with exposure. Tell me how that goes.
From CNR JUTA De BEER, imi nomsindisi wesizwe, umvelisi umlisi wesizwe, formerly known as Lwazi Madonsela, bringing you a show about creative entrepreneurs live from the landmark that not only birth SA street culture but also formalize the street hustle. On today's episode, we have
CNR JUTA De BEER Special Edition, umsindisi wesizwe, umvelisi another one, man. I think this season is a season of bangers, a season of greatness. The man of the hour, Gama, Simtronic, all the way from Eswazini, came to Joburg, took all the gold, you know. An agency man, but all started as a DJ. How do you go from the point of that, I'm just trying to get booked, to the point where it's like, I don't think that's the journey for the company. I don't think that's where the international brand should be viewing things.
Absolutely. I think it starts from the point where you've played all the parties, literally all the parties of your dream. Like, you think it was hard to get in there. And I think the biggest lie I've told actually is that it's not that simple. It's always that simple. When it comes to lineups and the kind of things, people sit in a room and say, okay, I'm sitting with singers on a play, and that's the end of it. So once I started seeing that reality, I said to myself, damn, you know, behind closed doors, we work so hard and think, you know, you're creating all these opportunities for yourself. But really, the opportunities are always there, and you just have to start creating the environment for them to exist. So I said, instead of DJing and doing a line item on the invoice, let me rather get everybody's invoices and put them on line items and be the guy to pay the bills.
But yeah, how do you go to deciding people's fate? How do you do that respectfully?
Look, yeah, respectfully, I mean, you can't decide anybody's fate. But I think for me, what I've learned about myself is that the journey that I went through sort of gave me insights that are incomparable to none, you know what I mean? Because I've been the DJ that was working hard to make sure my set was good enough to be counted amongst the rest, and raised myself to a point where I could play mixes on 5FM, mixes on Metro FM. I played a mix on Kai FM even. So that made me very diversified in terms of understanding the sound people want to receive. I've also been on radio on top of that. So all those insights mean that now I'm the best guy to make the call, because I don't just do favor or we struggle together, whatever. I'm doing it based on merit, because now I'm curating experiences for people, so I can know for sure. I think the best guy to do a set at 3 o'clock is Murder, because of, you know, the insight that I have on that kind of subject. So it's easier for me now to choose the best DJs, and even the guys that were not given opportunities before, I'm able to then help them now, because I'm like, dude, I think you're dope, and now that it's that easy for me, let's put you on a platform.
Speaking of the jump, how were the formative years of the agency? Because before you start the agency, there's a certain level of experience and discipline that was required of you.
Absolutely. So I mean, registering the company is the easiest thing you'll ever do. But to say the agency part of it, I'll say honestly, we started the agency in 2021. But I mean, there it's coming from experiences that I've learned. Initially, when I was DJing, I was doing it under Mecca, who is Sugar Smacks' company, Lebogang Motibe, shout out to my G. So we were doing events with him, like we did 48 events across the country on tour. And, you know, in the plane, the conversation will always be me asking, how does this thing work? How come you booked everybody a plane ticket to go play here? Why are you the guy making sure that the sound, what makes, what's going on? Why are you going through all these things? Aren't you all just going to perform? Then he says, no, that's not how it works. We've got an agency. And for you to be able to build clients, you have to have an agency. A company can't pay you directly for services. They need to get an agency. Then for me, what I took from that is that an agency is basically a vessel of money, which the brand has to channel to creatives and anybody who gets involved in the building of this whatever activity that we'll be doing. Yeah, so I said, cool. Knowing that alone, then practicing the front end and the back end, working with another agency, Red Life, where I was business developer as well, would bring in events and I'd see that whole value chain, how it works. So it took a lot of understanding, about 4 years of just learning the value chain. By the time I said, okay, cool, let's do it, I was ready and I knew exactly where I want to place myself and how to control the rest of the chain.
How do you get to DJ? Because now there's this, it's become so pivotal, but how do you get to the chance for Sugar Smacks to even acknowledge you on that level? How do you get that good? Because we always view our journey as that, I want to be a DJ, so I want to be bigger than Black Coffee. Yeah. We never view it as, I want to be a DJ and I'm hoping it opens more doors for me.
Absolutely, you're so right, because I think I never knew the doors it would open. But when I started, I was in high school, bro. Like I was just DJing because I thought it was cool. I mean, I remember there's a guy that I had a rivalry with. His name was DJ Supreme. At the time, he was DJ Mac in high school. Literally, I was like, this guy can't out DJ me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it too, you know. And I started like, you know, learning the craft, you know. So then I always thought like I could have more to it than just the DJing. So already just coming into it, I was the guy saying, I'll play and I'll play my own parties and I'll do the small things. Then I go to varsity first year. I'm 17 years old. I mean, I finished school at 16, by the way. I'm 17 years old.
Tell them how old you are now, because
I'm 28 now. Before you think it's old man.
Yeah.
So I'm in first year. I'm at Tux. I'm literally in the EBIT faculty, so I'm doing engineering, more quantity surveying. Now I'm sitting there with a bunch of engineers, and then McDonald's come through to school. Hey guys, do you guys know a DJ? I'm like, I'm not gonna tell these guys I DJ. I say, I know a DJ. They gave me a flyer. I check out the flyer. It says submit to mix to McDonald's 24/7 competition. I did that. Fast forward, they call me. I'm selected to come play live at the event with Euphonic as the judge. And I won't lie, that was a funny experience for me because I was so scared. I'd never played with the actual decks. I was using virtual DJ. So I mean, that's where the start of becoming better happens. Because I said to myself, let me go to a local pub and ask them, can I learn how to play here? Because I've got this big competition.
Yeah.
And I started leveraging that. I said, if I win it, everybody's gonna be looking at me. Then I'm gonna come back with these people here and start doing events here, which is exactly how it worked. So Cheeky Monkey in Hatfield Square at the time, 2012, gave me the chance to learn. That week I learned. Then I took my robe and put it around my arm because I was scared that I might lose. So I wanted sympathy points. I came to the thing I wanted. Then from there on, obviously in campus, everybody's like, oh, Simtronic. Then I literally did exactly what I told those guys I'd do. I said, everybody, from now on, Cheeky Monkey Saturdays, come, I'm playing there.
Yeah.
Then I moved that entire crowd from Hatfield to there, which helped me a lot because, I mean, they wouldn't let me play at like Stones and stuff.
were you aware that you were developing a sense of community at that stage?
No idea.
You
No
just
idea.
had people like you.
Yeah, I just thought people liked me. I thought it was quite cool. But I mean, fair enough, I've always been like, sort of like very likable my whole life. So I've always been lucky in terms of just community, now that you say it like that. But at the time, really, it was like, I would watch. So I like that you said when you want to DJ, you want to be like Black Coffee. I wanted to be like Avicii. I wanted to be like Armin van Buuren. And I wanted to be like Steve Aoki. I was watching the global scene.
Yeah.
You know, my attention was mostly on the global scene and saying, how do I use whatever elements they have? I mean, there's a party in Miami that David Guetta was playing, and I think they had a beef with Avicii at the time. So during David Guetta's set, Avicii came with a big air balloon right on top of the stadium, and then he dropped Avicii Sweets, and it was just flashing Avicii. Then the crowd started screaming, Avicii. That's the type of stuff that was inspiring me. Those are the kind of moves I wanted to make.
Be a terrible human. at a high level.
At a high level, you know what I mean? I mean, Avicii had a hotel in Miami, the Avicii Hotel. So I literally wished at the time that I could own the banister.
The banister in BRAAM.
And BRAAM, and turned it into the Simtronic Hotel. I mean, this was 17-year-old dreams.
That's fair. That's fair. If you know the banister.
You know what I mean? Because it looks so, the way it was written, I just said to myself, damn, Simtronic Hotel, that would be so dope. You know, so that's how I was thinking at the time. Then obviously you sharpen your craft. From there, I mean, I met all these guys. I mean, I was under Euphonic's mentorship for a bit at 5FM, playing my music on 5, playing mixes on 5 every now and again, attending the parties at Vakamata with Fresh and Euphonic. Even then, I learned, I think now that I'm talking about it, I'm seeing how much of accumulative experience that I've had, because I'd go to the parties at Vaka. I remember the party called Wet and Wild, which is wild.
Before you get to Wet and Wild, you're with Euphonic. Everywhere you enter, you are treated like Euphonic because you are with Euphonic, right?
Just the door.
But to be fair,
yeah.
Even the section of the spot you at, the type of lifestyle you're leading when you're with him, does that not get to your head?
Look, it did, only because of how people will receive you. Like if he says Ntanayam, and then everybody, you know. But I won't lie, Euphonic didn't really go all the way in there with that, because he was just like also very big on teaching you how to be. You know, he told me one of the best things ever, you know, and he said to me, the answer is always no until you ask. And I took that with me forever, you know, because then that's one thing that he really helped me with. Then from there on, I was literally just ready to ask for anything. I'd ask, because he'd say, if you ask to come to the venue, even if he's playing anyway, he just said, ask. Hi, big bro, I see you playing at Vaka, can I come? Yes. Can I come with 3 people? Yes. And then you come. And then sometimes you'll be sitting there worried, oh my God, what are they going to say at the gate? And sometimes I'd pull up without asking to Vaka and say, tell Euphonic it's Simtronic. And then he'd just be like, let him in. And then I'd come in. That alone, even my peers were like, damn, this guy can just pull out the phone. Euphonic makes things happen. You know what I mean? It was quite a dope thing. But I mean, also for me at the time, recognizing how big it was at the time and seeing the opportunity that was in front of me. Now with Vaka, I'm in the crowd, I'm watching, because I'd always want to be like in the crowd and watch. And then I remember they did this crazy party wet and wild. So they would say, so Fresh would take the mic, I've got 2,000 rand in my pocket. Can I see some ladies on the bar? Yo, ladies jump. Then you finally could be like, what it means is that get wet or whatever. And then like they'll just start shooting spray guns. Girls would have bras on the stage. I thought that was cool because it was an experience that they were also taking from Miami and bringing here. And then what would start happening is like someone would push it and get the 2,000. Then someone else would be like, then the same guys can get on the stage as well. Then be like, why are your tops so off? Then guys would drop their tops. That experience was so unheard of for me at the time. And I mean, those kind of experiences lead to you wanting to be better. And then you're also sitting with this guy. You don't want to say to him, play my mix on 5. Nje. You want to say to him, I heard the mix on 5 yesterday. I think I can match it. Then he says, let's hear it. And then by the time you play, because the bar is so high for me, it's not like giving someone Nje a mix. I'm giving you Euphonic, who is having Kent on the lineup. What's his name? I forgot his name. Banks and Terrace on the lineup. Yeah, so I'd have to get all those. I have to compete like that.
The bar was high.
The bar was really high, and I matched it. Fortunately, I really matched it, and then I was fortunate. I was fortunate to be heard at the time. Kept growing. That I think also for me, my problem is I didn't care about like audience. Like you see the community thing you speak about, I cared less for it. I think by the time I hung my boots or my headphones, I was like on 1,500 followers max. But I was someone that had a clothing sponsorship with Cotton On at the time. I had a partnership with what's this? Asics at the time. I was getting free clothes.
Free kids.
I was getting free food. I was like literally one of the first few influencers in my space at the time. I mean, I was influencing in 2017 and without any following or whatever. Only because when I spoke to brands, I understood the brand conversation.
What's the brand conversation?
The brand conversation
is...
So
the Simtronic who just avoided his test for McDonald's. For McDonald's conversation.
Yeah. The brand conversation is really understanding that most people, when they go to ask for stuff from brands, they think about what they want. I think that's something I learned early in life, just negotiation, right? So if I come to you and say, dude, can you give me a chance to speak on your platform? It's unfair for me not to give you some value in your platform. So then it's give and take. So understanding that even with brands, people come and say, I'm hosting an event, Sims, please bring your brand. What are we going to do there? I need 100,000. What are you going to do for us? I need 100K, and that's where it ends. So I'm able to say, okay, cool, you need 100,000 rand, we need to sell some liquor. And we need to grow our brand awareness, talkability. So how do I marry those two things? Then I come and to the brand and say, hey guys, I'm seeing this as this cool podcast I think will be dope. And the challenge is that right now he's starting on his own. And I think if we got him the latest equipment, it would make sense for us. And then he would give us maybe a segment where we call it the what.
If you see us with alcohol, Sim's dead.
You know what I mean? So it's always like tit for tat. So I knew that from the very beginning. Like if you give me something, I need to give you something right back. Then I mastered the art of networking is giving. Then I've since been a great networker because I give a lot.
God damn. I'm gonna wait for that giving.
I just gave you an interview. Say thank you.
I'm gonna wait for my giving. I'm gonna thank God for that. In that moment, right? You understand networking, but how did you actually form a network? Because a lot of us do send emails. People always say, "Yo, create a pitch deck, explain your numbers, explain 1, 2, 3." A lot of creators right now are suffering from that because the problem in South Africa, because of how premature the market is, we actually can't come in with our own products as yet.
100%,
right?
Yeah.
And because we're trying to expand and actually witness the audience, we'll then start looking for brand partners to activate at the highest level.
Absolutely.
Right? how do we actually get past that email? Because sometimes you send an email, you go to LinkedIn, you do the one thing they always say, go to LinkedIn.
Go to LinkedIn, yeah.
You get the email address, but the email never gets replied to. How do we break that barrier?
I'll make a very silly example. You know, I always say I like likening the situations to real life situations because that's when stuff gets done. You want a girl.
Sure.
You throw a DM. It doesn't get answered. Naturally, the next thing to do is find out who she's friends with. Right?
That's not naturally.
And then you say, hey, I saw you're friends with her. I really like her. Can we all hang together sometime? Then now you're finding common ground that will allow you to land easier or otherwise land softer. Because maybe the only thing that this girl doesn't know about you is how cool you are, how great you are. Because you've been following her, you know so much about her, but she doesn't know your story. So the only thing you have to do is get them to hear your story if the story is that dope. So by the time that if the friend thing works out, if it doesn't work out, maybe then you go to events that she attends, then you'll find her, then essentially look for every possible way to create the environment for you guys to meet without obviously being weird. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like if I want a deal from somebody, I'm sending an email, hi, I'd like to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from you. There's no response. I say, cool. I'm gonna look for your name on Instagram, dude. Where do you hang out? I'm coming to look for you. And I might just accidentally bump into you. Oh, I'm sitting to a long time, brother. What a coincidence. I've been emailing you. Oh, you have?
That feels like an ambush.
I'll take it. I'll ambush you for my money because that's how much I want it. That's how much I want the deal. That's how much I want the product. But most importantly, that's how much you need it. And that's why I'm not scared to ambush you because by the time I'm done with you, you're going to thank me. Because I'm in the business of solving people's problems.
Yeah,
I'm not here like trying to just get paid or whatever. I get paid as a byproduct of solving people's problems, which is why we're running such a successful agency. And I've never feared sending a proposal because that proposal has contents that have your benefit. So yeah, we're both gonna benefit from this.
How do you measure your lining, your pricing then? Because now we've made the interaction. Absolutely. You know my cool. You know everyone around you knows I'm cool too.
Yeah.
And it's been proven that I'm good for it. But then how do I then measure and say, as much as you are global brand A,
yeah,
and I am this little micro dots.
Absolutely, yeah.
Within your tax break. It's not even within the money you guys need.
Yeah.
Within your little tax break. How do I measure how much I can push for money-wise? Because most companies are always willing to give us inventory. Absolutely. It's very far and few between that they give you money that's probably over 50 without a big negotiation.
I would say firstly, precedence. Check out like what other people are sort of costing as research. You know, so you have to also like measure yourself. And sometimes the biggest curse that happens is the first person that will give you the hand won't be the person to take you to the finish line. Unfortunately, you have to accept that. So if your first deal, let's just make a typical example. Let's say I'm doing events for brand X. And they were the first people to give me a break. You know, they always see me as the kid that they, sort of growing. And sometimes you supersede and grow so quick that they can't really acknowledge that, okay, cool, this is not a kid anymore. A prime example is if I meet you today as a kid, I come back to you in 10 years, still carrying some kid stuff like purity for you. You'd be offended.
Yeah.
Exactly the same thing happens to brands. When they meet you, they think you're going to be a kid forever. But you also need to be offended and say, I can't eat purity forever. So until you're ready to drop it, you're not going to move. And the thing about God is that God will keep presenting you with opportunities at your age. So now it's like, I'm supposed to be eating like solids, but I'm still stuck on this thing, which you can remove yourself from because that's what you needed then. So you shouldn't be worried about it. You must be accepting that, okay, it's time to grow. Thank you so much. Did I enjoy the purity? And then you go and have solids elsewhere. Many times they'll start seeing you having solids elsewhere and then offer you some whiskey because now you're grown. You know what I mean? But you need to really be willing to let go if you have to, because sometimes we just literally like, oh, he put me on to give my first break.
Big bro forever.
Yeah, big bro forever. It can't work like that, bro. I'm grown now. I'm a grown man now. I can make decisions. You put me on. That was a good stepping stone. I'm at a different stage, and I can do more. I can bring more to the table. Put me in the conversation that I want to be in.
How do I motivate for more money? Okay, cool. Now I'm eating solids. Mm-hmm. There's people who want me to eat solids, right?
Yeah.
Now they bring the whatevers, you know?
Yeah, of course.
The fillets.
Yeah, now they want the fillet.
They come in with the fillet level. Okay. How do I then? Because a lot of people, a lot of creatives they're probably in the same boat right now because like you'll get brand A, they'll say, can you do a post for us? You do your best, you do above and beyond.
Yeah.
They graduate you, then they give you like, okay, can you do this 3-month thing with us? But now you're viewing it from a business perspective where I want to do this for the broader community.
Absolutely.
You know, when I'm trying to appeal for the broader community conversation, how do I put it in a big boy way to say, yo, we need 500K.
Yeah,
for 30 hours.
You're so right, because I think you're right because you're already giving the rationale. So I'm saying we've done this thing together, guys, and our target was to reach 20,000 people a week. We've killed it, guys. But this is as far as our resources are going to take us. And then you have to go and build a plan, like a feasible plan, and say, hey, dude, if we introduce 1, 2, so you don't ask for money, always add line items that will improve the value of what you're doing. So that's how the money then is made. So it shouldn't come to them like, I want money. Come back with a conversation of saying, if we add an influencer strategy X, Y, and add a proper Twitter strategy, and then I thought if we add live eventing, here's what the ROI then changes to entirely. The better the ROI, the better the I. Because it's a return on investment. So focus on growing the ROI for the client. Then the I, so you can get so the I is gonna come in without question. So don't focus on saying, hey guys, if you add some money for me, it's gonna be nice. Say, hey guys, for us to grow our network, I think we can add these few elements, and then they sell them on the element and what it's gonna bring. Then the next thing they'll say, can you cost that for us? So you've changed the conversation. Now they want to get the cost because you've sold the idea first. Don't sell the money first. I'm giving you free game right now, damn.
In the comments, right? Gama. Like, don't stop. Just keep writing. Every time you feel it hit home, every time you took out your notepad, you gotta write Gama, you know? Because, no, this is real game, man.
It's the
it applies
way.
to all of us. It applies to all of us because, there's this theory, right? Mm-hmm. That the previous generation fucked it up for everyone.
How so?
Because those guys were getting international deals. They'd get like Hennessy money. Niggas would get money from brand A and brand B and not deliver and stuff. And now, because of the internet being at the stage it's at, everyone now is supposed to be creating it 10 times the effort with 10 times less the income. How do we break that barrier to say, yo, I know you said your bottom line is 20K per creator.
Yeah.
But me, I'm noticing the work is at 200.
So 200K. I mean, look, it's one thing that we all need to learn is I think many people, especially entrepreneurs, you know, there's a lot of financial pressure sometimes as an entrepreneur that you go through. But you must never ever make the mistake of using one client to cover your ass. You know what I mean? Like if that client is meant to cover 20% of your mess, take that graciously. Don't be aggressive, because then sometimes we sit here and say, I need $1 million. And then you're sitting on a brief that requires you to just get $500,000. But now you're going to squeeze it and squeeze $1 million out of it and you're going to start doing what? Selling like bullshit. Trust me, we're going to get 1, 2, 3, then you oversell, right? And then when it's time to deliver, you deliver less, but because you got what you wanted, then you're going to walk away with $1 million. But that's the last $1 million you're going to get from the client. So you got to think about it in like, play long game. Don't bullshit clients. Give them the real story and grow slowly. You'll get there, but also you must be sure of the ROI, like we were talking about. You can't oversell and say, trust me, if you add $1 million, it's gonna blow. I'm happier with someone saying, look, the target is we want to get to $1 million, but I think if we add gradually 20% more budget and see if our ROI is also growing by 20%, then we can reach towards the $1 million. Then also the client sees that you also care for their bread and their winnings out of all of this. Then you take it nice and slow and build towards that. Previously, people would come with big ideas, big budget, big. That's what happened, and that's what fucked up some of the things for us, because we come into rooms, it's hard to come big now. Because people are scared. If you go big, are we going to get ROI? And then it's happened many times, internationally, locally. As long as you can be authentic and have an honest conversation, no one listens to me in any meeting and thinks, oh, but this was done by who and who. I create my own lane. Many a time, I make the brief. I don't even like respond to briefs much, because I see the opportunity and I can present it in a way that there's no doubting it. It's like, dude, everything I've ever created mostly is literally a lane that I created. I'll say, here's what I think we should do. And that becomes, I briefed myself because I literally listened to the issues of the client, where are the pain points, and I answered those. Many times you walk into a room and as soon as you speak, you're like, oh, finally someone gets it.
How do you find the pain points? Because we're independent creatives. Most people don't go to school for it. Like
Yeah.
you say, okay, if I start an agency or if I'm trying to monetize this thing that seems to be appealing to so many people, how do I find a company's pain points?
It's two ways. Either they give it to you or you emancipate yourself in understanding that company so much. Because just at like, from, let's say I go to Coca Cola, I see a restaurant. They serve me some food. It's great. This is great food. But then I realized that maybe I don't like, they didn't invest in their chairs.
Yeah.
They didn't control the environment that this food exists in. That's already, I can see that's a pain point. Some of these things, like, it's just a natural, for me, I see it naturally. Like, you sit with the brand and see that, okay, cool. Brand X on the ground is received this way, but they're communicating that way. Then someone has to drive that point across. And the worst thing we've ever done to ourselves is thinking, why hasn't nobody thought of it? You know, and that's the God that exists in you, the fact that that idea comes to you. Because sometimes we think, it can't be that simple. Why would I think of it and no one has thought about it? I mean, this is simple, guys. Just add this and it's gonna go down. And you think many briefs before, no one has thought of it. But because it came so easy to you, you think it's that easy. But you need to remember that you are a God, you're God-given, you literally have so much talent in you, and literally that's why your fingerprint will never be like mine. Whatever comes to your mind naturally, I have to kind of like fetch into mine.
We're sitting at home and we think of these brilliant ideas. We've graduated these brilliant ideas. Then the biggest shock comes to all of us, the purchase order. Because we always view business from our world. We never view business from business's perspective, because we creative people, we just like,
Absolutely.
yeah, but why is it not reflecting on time? And also, when they don't pay us, how do we go about managing those expectations?
Absolutely.
Because sometimes the 2023 instinct is to go on Twitter and say, at brand X,
Where my money at?
Where my money at? How do we run business in a business way?
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. I think don't ever do that. Unless, I mean, obviously, you have to just call a lawyer and do it right. You know what I mean? So I think for me, essentially, the first thing, I'm glad you actually raised this, which is a big concern that I see with like even some of the guys that I've worked with myself, is that this is a business. Once you've said you want to be a brand, that brand is led by business, because then there'll be transactions happening on behalf of the brand and by the brand and so forth. So already, first things first, treat it like a business. A business needs certain functions for it to exist, right? So then think of the brand that you're looking for and not just think of it being, oh, I want this water as the brand. That brand has a business behind it as well. And that brand feeds so many people, and there's got a supply chain and procurement division that takes care of those kind of things, buying, selling, whatever the hell they need to do, right? So any procurement of goods is done through procurement and otherwise supply chain management, right? Now you come in, you're talking to a brand manager. Brand manager says, I like this thing, let's go for it. But they still have to find a way to procure it, because then under what terms are we procuring these services? Are they a need to the business at the time? Now that we've skipped that point, that now they've selected you, you're working with them, there's going to be certain payment terms that they put down. Many times you guys don't experience them because creatives don't have businesses many times. And their businesses are not vendors to these brands. So then what the brand will do is say, hey, G Empire, we want to do something cool with this individual. Can you facilitate the payment of that individual? Or can you facilitate the program?
That's when the agency becomes the devil.
Exactly, but then if you had your own business and put it there as a vendor, maybe you'd be your own devil. But then you're still going to point at other people. Why you got to keep blaming people if you can take the matters into your own hands? Open a company, go register yourself as a vendor. Then start billing yourself. Then you have a better conversation to have. I don't have those problems because I did exactly that. I said, I will be the agency that is the facilitator of certain activity. And I don't want to be a devil to anybody. I'll pay people when I have to. But remember, there's payment terms that apply to everything. Because if in a month I do 20 plus events or campaigns, there's like 100 plus bills that are coming to us inwards. And we need to have a system as to how do we manage that, because it's also cash flow. If every invoice that lands in my mail I pay immediately, I'll have a cash flow problem. Well, that's why we have terms. We will pay this at 30 days post-campaign. because it gives us enough time to make sure that we also go and collect our money from whatever brand that is paying us at certain terms. Then if that time is enough, then we know by the time 30 days hits, we'll be able to pay you. But if I say to you, bill, I pay immediately, I'm creating problems for myself. Sometimes we'll have different situations and say we'll pay you 50% pre-campaign, 50% post-campaign. It's different terms, but you guys have to, as creatives, have to familiarize yourselves with business functions, mainly procurement, mainly finance, and understand how those things work. It's not easy. Some campaigns won't get 50% support from brand. The brand will say, go ahead, and they will pay you on completion. The reason why that happens, you also got to just think about it. I think, top of my mind, if you come to me and say you want to do something, I'm a brand, you want 10 million for it, I give you 5 million up front, and you disappear. Really? Like, even if I'm going to sue you, like, chances are I might sue you for everything I've given you because that's all you have now. That's why this brand's are scared. I get it, because if I go to a brand and want 5 million up front, they're scared. I have to build a reputation of accountability where they say, okay, Empire Media, or, we've worked with these guys long enough to trust that we can give them upfront payments because, it's kind of protected for us. But as first-time creatives, it's unfair for us to want all this money up front from brands because you make it hard for even agencies to want to work with you because you put us in a position where we must go and get additional money or loans to facilitate you showing up to this thing that you wanted so much for your own growth. Now it's becoming the agency's problem to finance it for you. And it's literally sometimes influencers. Just go shoot a video. Like, just spend some money, go shoot a video, submit it, let's get paid and we'll pay you. No, I'm not moving until you send me the money. Then you put us all in a weird position. Then sometimes the brands are like, yo, this one went on Twitter, that's when people start seeing themselves not working as much. But it's just think about the relationship with everything. It's a value chain. Be good with supply chain. Be good with the agencies. Be good with the campaign managers. Try and create a nice mutual relationship where everybody enjoys working with you. The money will always come to you. It's just going to take a bit of time. Some companies will make you wait 60 days for a payment. And now you've paid everybody.
I've waited 90.
Yeah, some 90, some 6 months. You see what I mean? But I think once you familiarize yourself with the realities of this thing, you stop looking at agencies as devils or whatever. You understand these people are running a business that has to take care of so many people. In fact, many times when we do campaigns, we're really trying to help people. We'll literally employ, I think our last campaign, we employed over 480 individuals in a 30-day period. That's how many lives you're changing. That's how many plates that you're putting food on. And then for one person in that group to feel like, oh, my agent's are spatali. It takes time. We'll get it done, but just understand what you're dealing with, yeah.
How do you approach clients as creatives? What's the best way? Because now it's been obvious that we're not vendors. Yes. But then if I have no ambition of being a vendor, absolutely, how do I then also align myself with an agency that I'm seeing is working with the likes of Distel to say, okay, cool, I know I party, I know I make this type of content, I know I do this type of work. How can I perfectly align myself to exist within an agency dynamic that will be the vendor that already has all the client database?
Yeah.
Because we're always looking at it from like, I'm a DM Distel.
Yeah.
But how do I DM the agency?
I think, well, luckily for you, you can talk to the agency. I'm right here, B. Yeah. Look, it's great that you mentioned that. That's something that we've been trying to do ourselves at G Empire to help creatives, because we believe we are the center and rather the connector of brand to consumer. So brand being the actual brand that we represent, and then the second brand will be yourself, and then the consumer. So then it's better if you come and say, hey guys, I've got this concept. And remember that for us, we're working for the brand's best interest. So we'll say, what do you want to do? Okay, cool, I want to build this nice thing like this. Here's what it's going to take. We will then help you even with strategy and say, oh, you've come to the point where you see the creative.
What amount of transparency am I entitled to?
Quite a lot, dude. We sign NDAs. Like we tell you everything. So what we're gonna do is that you'll tell us what you want to achieve.
Okay. And
then we will look at how possible is it to achieve this. We will then cost it, and then we'll tell you, okay, cool. This thing of yours, you said it's gonna cost you X amount. Sharp. Is this including your fees? Are you gonna be fine? This is what you're looking for. That's your target. You say, dude, if I get X amount, I'm out of here.
I'm just trying to pay rent. And
Then we say, cool, how do we then sell this?
Cooper.
Yeah.
How do I say that to you in a professional way? I'm trying to pay rent to drive a Mini Cooper.
Trying to pay rent, drive a Mini Cooper?
Yeah.
Leave it to me.
All right.
That's what I'm telling you. I say, cool, start looking for a Mini. As long as you got something comparing. I'll literally say, if I look at it as comparing, I'll literally tell you, dude, start looking for a Mini Cooper. Give me 6 months, we're going to get you in there.
If I don't have a you, right? How do I say that in email?
It's gonna be tough.
I know it's gonna be tough, but I'm saying it because
I'm joking. Yeah, it's gonna be. It's finding then another agency that has the same access to certain opportunities. Because even for us as an agency, we are sometimes the agency's agency.
Because you're selling.
Yeah, because then sometimes remember there's people that have access to the contract. There's people that can do the job. And you need to be able to distinguish that because it's like some things like it's policy, bro. If you have been, if Spotify has said you are the head of podcast for the next 3 years, there's no business in me trying to hit that map. Like, what am I doing? If anything, I'm doing you a favor if I come to you and say, bro, Lwazi, you are the head of podcast for the next 3 years. And I see you've been developing podcasts in this direction. Have you thought about a food podcast for your network since you leading it? Then I'm giving you power to go and take forward. And you go there and say, hey, I was talking to these other young guys. They want to do food now. Then Spotify says, we love it. Let's support it. Then you've supported somebody under your value chain. But it's important to understand some people are contract holders. You can't fight them. The contract is mine. No matter what you do, even the brand manager will say, I'd love to work with you, but I'm stuck with this guy.
So Neskia se frito net this step.
Next. I wish. I'm chilling. I work with people. Like for me, literally, it's there's no ego, man. For me, it's not about who's at the head, who's the owner of the contract. For me, it's about can we do some impactful work. So there's no ego attached to it at all, bro. If it's your contract, let's talk about it. How can we expand it? Because the way I think I'm so good at creating value, I can find a way for us to eat both, and you still eat what you're intending to eat. Without having, so I'm not tasting by anybody's bread. I feel like I know what I bring to the table and it's good enough. So even if the contract is yours, I can make you look good in your own contract. Where now at the end of your 3-year contract, Spotify says let's renew it because I was in the back line supporting that thing hard, and all of us ate because at the end of the day my bread was filled, your bread was filled, and we're all good. There's no ego. It's like then you come back to me and say, dude, they want to renew the contract. But now you realize that now it becomes so resourceful to you that I'm irreplaceable. I'm indispensable. Now your contract exists because of my expertise. That's also a good place to be. There's nothing wrong with that.
A lot of people don't accept that, right? So you'd find that sometimes you do great work, there are great numbers, but you start seeing that you're being shunned upon. What do you think would be the trait? Because we've seen people have impact for real. There's people, I think there's like, I always say there's people who influence, they're like a billboard, and then there's people who are like the people petite foot gear, like outside foot gear, like they physically coming to you saying, yo, buy this is why you should buy it. As opposed to a billboard. I always look at billboards as people with like crazy million followers, 100%. But the person with the shoe in hand is most likely to make the sale than the billboard, right?
Yeah.
And absolutely. At times, that person affirms the billboard.
Yeah.
Right?
That's marketing and sales. You just knocked it. The one is marketing, the one is sales.
So within that part, like in that little path, why am I forgetting my train of thought?
No, you wanted to say like, what happens when someone you feel like you're being shunned upon, but when
you're being shunned upon, and you guys have proven that the relationship has worked. But
now someone wants to like be the makuzu of the whole thing. Look, if really what you were bringing to the table was that strong, and this person is not appreciating it, and you feel like you're being exploited, the minute you separate yourself from it, we will know.
So I must wait for karma.
No, not karma. No, it's not karma. If I'm the reason you're killing it, if I remove myself, you should fail. By virtue of what you say. So if you remove yourself and the person doesn't fail,
you have to reassess.
Yeah, but if you remove yourself, that person has to fail, dude. Because like if you say I was the cornerstone of it, not that I'm wishing failure upon anybody, but I'm saying if this was the missing ingredient, once you've removed it, we should see it crumble, which will either lead the person to come back and give you better terms, or we'll start seeing where the light really was. Because then on your own, you should be strong as well. Because if you were the main ingredient there on your own, what changes now? Are you not a main ingredient if there's no one next to you?
Must be good as a salad and on your own.
That's it, bro. Like you have to be, and being good means like, it shows, bro. Like I don't want anyone to lose their bread or anything, but it's like if I feel like you're not respecting what I'm trying to put on the table in a certain space, I leave silently, bro. We don't talk about it. I'm just out. But my point is, wherever I land, will always be successful and growing. There'll be growth. There'll be energy. There'll be love. There'll be attention. There'll be so much value. And then if your only value was me, it'll be evident. So I want to say, just trust yourself. Like really believe in it. Like you have to literally walk around and know that there's no one better. And once you're given the chance to prove it, don't back down, bro. And if someone else has to be great for you to be greater, that's okay. There's no ego. Like sometimes I have to be great for someone else. Because in that room, that person is literally where they need to be for us to be sharp. And there's rooms where I'm at the top of that room, and then I need to also play the role. So it's roles. Some rooms, I must reduce myself because I'm a partner to someone else, and I must play my role. I can't come there and overpower someone else's space. I must just be fine on my own, without like feeling weird, dude. I think when you're really, really, really good, aren't you scared of, dog?
When you him, you him.
Yeah, dog. Just walk around like you know it.
Yeah.
And you are him, bro. I promise you, I think no one can come for you in this space. What you're doing is amazing. It's your lane. Even just to you, word to you, something just say to you, I must tell you, you're him, bro. You're dope. Keep going. If you want to talk brands, let's talk brands. Let's make brands. But there's no one that has any right to step on top of you. Everybody should either be lifting you or you lifting them. That's how it's supposed to be.
Damn. I wanted to drag it on, but damn. you gave us the direct answers. You gave us exactly what we need. Simphiwe Gama.
Sir.
Say, plug the business.
Down my way. GMPI Media, baby. We are literally everything exciting in the events, brand, marketing space. Shout out to GMPI Media. Shout out to the team and everybody at the office. The work that we put together, the work that we've done in the last 2 years.
Also, please drop the types of work you do, because we were talking about it from an agency standpoint.
Absolutely.
But we haven't relayed at what capacities you've been able to be present at.
Cool. So as an agency, it's literally from events and activations point of view. So that's strategy development. That's actually the event production itself. So what we did is that every time you get an invoice, no? So when we started, every invoice that we get, you must look at what you're spending the most on. And then every new month, you must reduce that.
Yeah.
Reduce that. So we found ourselves having such a nice value chain. So we literally, if an event needs furniture, we got that. If it needs sound, we got that. So you're trying to create a proper ecosystem around everything we need. So we're trying to make sure we got that. Where we don't have enough, then we've got proper suppliers that help us with that. So event production, full scale, we can run that. When it comes to influencer marketing, we're probably dope at that. Not probably, we're definitely dope at that. We're dope at influencer marketing, so there's some artists that we've started working with directly in terms of just getting brand work for them, managing them. I mean, if I could just mention briefly, Lemogang Tsipa, Ushaga Zulu, he just joined the agency. We're about to do some exciting work with him. We do work with Lwazi Madonsela. We do work with Khaled San Kaufman. She just launched Half a Corner Couch. So there's a couple of brands that we're working with just in terms of using their brands and exercising different spaces for them to play in and so forth. And then we just signed now, which is an exclusive. We just signed an artist, a full-on artist under GMPI Records.
So you just a 360?
360 now. Because if we do the parties and we do the events and we're booking artists, let's start booking our artists. That's why most of our events...
I hope the artist is not Simtronic.
No. The artist is NASA Reloaded. If you check on Instagram, so she's actually a dancer. We discovered her when we're doing Extreme Tour, which was 30 gigs in 30 days around Pretoria, Joburg, Limpopo, and Mpumalanga. So we had her as the main dancer throughout the whole competition. It was called Bula Sekele. We killed 30 gigs in 30 days, literally. She played it, each and every one of them danced. Then we thought, damn, she's really good. Then found out she could sing as well. So we took her to studio last week and recorded the first song. So we're going to be playing in the Mapiano space now, having our own artist. But then the privilege now is that you've got an agency that can take care of your content, your marketing, your brand deals, your support, everything. So it's literally first of its kind for us. Let's see what happens. I'm excited.
Are you ever afraid of being the villain in someone's story? Because people, mainly acts, right? They'll come through. We'll have an agreement that, yo, I'm gonna blow you up within these 2 years. I'm gonna pay your apartment. I'm gonna pay your salary.
Yeah.
You're gonna have car access, right? And then within all that, that's probably just that, their maintenance is probably costing you roughly 60 a month.
Yeah.
Then you do blow them up within the 9 months of the pre-expected 2 years.
Absolutely.
And then now they want to start fighting because that 60K is now their booking fee per gig.
Yeah.
Are you ever afraid of being the villain in someone's story?
I love how you put it, dude. I literally have said this many times. It's so easy to be a villain in someone's story, and I don't give no mind to it. I don't pay no mind to it. I don't care, to be honest, because for me, I know that when I go to bed at night, and I know I did right by somebody, I've never literally wake up and say I'm gonna go do you dirty. So for instance, if the example you made, you say to me, I must give you 60K a month and while we're building music. 12 months later, now I spent in the region of what, 720,000, and then now you start blowing up.
Yeah.
I need to recoup that money, right? And we'd agree that you're gonna get a certain amount of money.
Get that 60K for the next 5 years.
Until I get that money back. Then in year 3, you start feeling like I'm doing you dirty. Had you not blown up in the 5 years, I would still have had to pay you for the full 5 years. No one has that conversation. Everybody wants to have the conversation when it's success. Because you must treat these things the same. The extreme success, the extreme failure. The failure is entirely my risk. The success is then your win. Because if you had failed, you're not going to come back to me and say, oh my God, Gama, I feel like I've cost you so much money. Can I give you back at least 2 million? It's too much. No, you're not. But now when you win, oh, y'all cheating me. Oh, I took a gamble.
Yeah.
You know, but obviously that's not the approach that we're taking per se with our music label. But I'm just talking on deals that I've seen generally. Yeah, with our thing, look, we're sitting with the good people at TaylorMade, making sure that our artist gets the best deal possible. Even with music, we're gonna sit with the labels and make sure they get the best deals possible, because we don't want that situation where, you know, then there's that villainism or whatever. But I'm not scared of being a villain in anybody's story, because I'm a hero in mine and my family.
That's the sound bite.
That's all that matters.
That's the sound bite.
My family happy with me. My friends is happy with me. I'm happy with me.
Now say it again. You're not afraid of being a villain?
I'm not afraid of being a villain because I'm a hero in my own story, and that's all that matters. Let them talk, let it be. It's cool. You'll still find me in the same place. Many people say you're a villain and so forth, but when you say to them, act on it, they can't, because they know there's nothing to act on. Same office, same address, same number. It's all good.
Yeah, baby. What's your word to the youth?
Word to the youth is, guys, I can't stress this enough. Be fearless, man, in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. You know, like literally, I don't know what's in your heart. I don't know what's in your mind. But remember that everything has a perimeter or perimeters that you have to play within. You know, so if we say be fearless in your pursuit of whatever, you know that there's laws. Don't kill, don't what. So don't say you're fearless to a point where you don't look at the basics. So don't forget that life is also cornered by certain laws and whatever. So in just general life, when you approach stuff, respect elders, respect people around you. Those literal principles of life that were set before our own lives, those are what will take you far. Whatever you do outside of that is on you. But if you're going to be fearless in your approach and whatever, but still respect abantu abadala, hlonipha abangani bakho, hlonipha people that are your age mates, younger people, protect them, protect women. I don't see any reason for you not to be like given all the blessings in the world.
Gama.
Yeah, hack the blessings, bro. If you have enough people that don't go to bed without praying for your name, how the hell won't God respond? God will respond, bro. You hack the blessings, bro. It's like, even if I forget to pray, which I don't, but if I forget to pray, there's like 30, 40 people praying for me every night. Surely I'm going to get a response. Surely. So just be a blessing to people, bro. Give. Networking is giving. Give, love. Don't stop being respectful. I think I can't stress that one enough. The youth these days is out of control. Thank you, man. What a great band. Thank you for having us, man. I appreciate it. Let me also give you your flowers, bro. This is amazing. The way you've grown this podcast in about how long now? 7-8 months a year.
What are we? 10 months.
10 months.
No. 11, but technically
Almost a year.
only on air for 9.
Are you not the top 10 in Africa?
We are top 8 according to DSTV.
Top 8 in
top
Africa.
10 to
What
Spotify.
Top 20 Spotify.
Sponsors.
Come on, man.
We need a sponsor this season.
Boom.
We need a sponsor this season if you're listening.
Absolutely, man.
We're good
So
for
well
it.
done, bro.
We're trying to host the next event, 1 year birthday. Let us know. If you're trying to do something anyway.
Talk to me straight. Don't come around the corner.
Stop going around the corners.
Proud of you, man. Well done.
Thank you,
Keep
man.
going, bro. This is so great. Biggest thing we didn't talk about is luck, bro. Like, so many of these things have to do with luck. Like, I think that's one point that I didn't make. It's like, dude, 80% after all the work you've done, there's that 20% that just luck is gonna just unlock it for you. Because some rooms, like, why the hell am I in this room today? I don't know. I'm lucky because I bumped into you somewhere and then I've been talking on Instagram. Now we're here. That's luck. That's literally then from there, this summer seasons, let's say, oh, say this, I like how you think, let's move, let's do that. Next thing, I'm taking this to brand. Hey, dude, I did this interview with this dude. It's quite cool. Oh shit, let's sponsor this. That's luck. You can't. There's some of those things you can't
make
premeditate. Yeah, you have to like literally say. Some places I just found myself there.
So you can only hack prayer.
Yeah, you can prayer. I'm hacking the shit out of.
Shout out God.
I love God.
Hey yo, God, come to the podcast.
Like dude, like it's impossible. And you know, in families, like, dude, I remember this one girl, the one that was signing actually, like when she first booked her. She was on the gram playing every like literally vocalistic shows, performing everywhere. Then we took her on the road, and then I thought she was gonna decline it first of all because she's so busy. Then she said that's the first time she ever got paid, dude. When I dropped bands on her mom, they couldn't believe, dude. Like she just got her first 5-figure check. What? I mean, if you see that impact, it's like, whoa, what's really happening here? What are people doing? What are you doing to people's children? Pay them. Like, stop paying people with exposure, bro. Go buy some groceries with exposure and tell me how that goes.